Good morning students and welcome to our YouTube channel Gnan Manjari Moderns. So in the previous video we are just talking about the separation of the substance. In that we have seen the method. First of all we have seen threshing, winnowing, hand picking, then after we have seen the sieving, and then after sedimentation, condensation, and this all the method, also the filtration. We have seen all this method of separation. Okay, so here first of all let us revise the things which we have seen in the previous video. So in that we have seen the hand picking. So the hand picking was the method what it just is, if it is just done when it is there is what, there is not a minimum amount or the small quantity of the substance to be separated. Okay, then after sieving, that is what, it is just there for what, for separating the small pebbles and the big pebbles, means the small and the big thing is to be separated, then that is used. Okay, then after we have seen next, that was sedimentation and decantation. In that we have seen the example, if you just take a beaker and in that you just fill the water and then after you just add 3 to 4 teaspoons of the sand in it and you just mix it well, then what will happen, the solution will be what, a brownish or the blackish color solution. But if you want to separate that sand and the water, then what you have to do, you just keep the beaker undisturbed for 2 to 3 hours, then what will happen, all the sand will just come at the bottom and you just then after, that process is known as the sedimentation, and in decantation process then starts, that is you just take out the upper liquid from it. Okay, so we can separate the water and the sand solution. Okay, then after we have seen the filtration. In that we have seen the example of tea. So when just our mother makes the tea and then after the tea leaves is to be separated by the liquid, then the filtration device is used. Okay, now here we just reach to the evaporation. So what is evaporation, students? We all have seen the evaporation in the standard 5th. Okay, so what is evaporation method? Okay, so here it is written, the process by which the process by which the liquid form of a substance changes into its gas form is called evaporation. Okay, that is known as the evaporation. So what is it? The process by which the liquid form of a substance changes into its gas form is called evaporation. Okay, means what? If I just want to just separate the salt from the water which is soluble, means the solid which is soluble in water, then if I have to separate that water and that solid, then this method can be used. So this method is also used to separate out the sea water, okay, salt from the sea water. So what they will just, here you can see they just make a big structure in that sea water comes, and then after that water just evaporates, okay, and the salt will remain over that. Okay students, so this is the evaporation process. Now Moving further here, the process by which the liquid form of a substance changes into gas, that is known as the evaporation process. This method is used to separate a mixture that contains a soluble solid and a liquid. So when this method is used, this method is used to separate a mixture that contains a soluble solid and a liquid. Okay, so this method is used when a soluble to separate a mixture that contains a soluble solid and a liquid. We all know that the water is a universal solvent. Okay, so the solvent which is soluble in the water or any of the other liquid. Okay, so for the separation of that, this method is used, that is evaporation method. Here the liquid component of the mixture evaporates while the solid components remain behind. Heating increases the rate of evaporation. A mixture of common salt and water can be separated by evaporation. Common salt is obtained from seawater by collecting it in the shallow pans and allowing it to evaporate. Here you can see in the figure a shallow pan in which the seawater is collected, and then after the water is evaporated and it will lastly remain the salt. So in that way the common salt is removed from the sea water. Okay, what they just do here, you can see the salt, see here big shallows are there, in that the water is put of the sea water, and then after the water which is there, due to the heat of the sun, the water will be evaporated and the remaining will be the common salt. Okay, then after here, moving further, there is an activity which is given over here, that is to separate a mixture of salt and the sand. Here a mixture of salt and a sand, filter paper, burner, beaker, conical flask and water. Here method, that is take the mixture of salt and sand in a beaker, add water to the mixture and stir it well to dissolve the salt completely. Now place a filter paper cone in a funnel and set the funnel on a conical flask. Pass the mixture through the filter paper. Hit the mixture collected in the conical flask. Observation, the sand will remain in the filter paper while the salt and the water mixture passes through it and is collected in the conical flask. While the salt and water mixture passes through it and it is collected in the conical flask. Upon heating the mixture of the salt and water, salt is left behind while the water evaporates. Conclusion, filtration and evaporation are used one after the another to separate the mixture of salt and the sand. Thus, more than one method can be used to separate the components of the mixture. So, in that, what is to be done in this activity? You have to separate the sand and salt which are mixed with each other. So, sand is not soluble in water, but salt is soluble in water. So, what we will do? We just add the water inside it, and what we will do? We will just filter out all the this mixture. So what will happen? The salt and the water mixture will come in the conical flask and in the funnel the sand will be there, and then after you just take out the conical flask and just heat it up, so the water will be evaporated and we can get the salt. Okay, so this is the activity. Now we will just move towards the next process, that is known as the condensation process. Okay, let us see that. Here evaporation and condensation are the opposite processes. Okay. So here, condensation process. So what is the condensation process? Let us see. Condensation. So the condensation is what? The process by which the process by which the gas form of a substance changes into its liquid form is called condensation. Okay, that is known as the condensation. Here in evaporation, what is there? The liquid form was converted into gas, but in the condensation the gas form is converted back to this liquid form. Okay, so what I will just give an example. So what is the evaporation process? So evaporation process can be say water converted into water vapor. Okay, and this is the evaporation process. Evaporation. And if I just talk about the condensation, then that is water vapor converts back into water, that is known as the condensation. Okay, that is the condensation. Here if I am just explaining it again, that is what is evaporation, that is water is converted into water vapor, that is known as the evaporation process, and water vapor just converts in back to the water, that is known as the condensation process. Okay, so here when you just take out a bottle of water from the refrigerator, tiny drops of water appears on the bottle. After some time, this happens because the water vapor present in the air condenses on the cooling surface of the bottle and changes into drops of water. In the previous activity, we learned how to separate the collected sand and water salt from their mixture separately. What if we also need to collect the water used in the mixture? Okay. Here in the previous activity, they have said that how they have just separated the salt and sand mixture. So what they have done, they have just add water into it and they have separated the salt and sand. Okay, but what they have said, we have just after we just at the in the filtration device, means in the funnel, we have get the sand. Okay, and in conical flask we have get the mixture of water and soil. So what we have done, we have just evaporate the water. Okay, so what will happen, the water will be evaporated and salt will remain in it. Okay, so here we have to just separate the the mixture from salt and water both. So what we will do, we will just condense that evaporated water, means water vapor, in the another way, that is known as the condensation. That is water vapor converted into water, that is known as the condensation. How? Let us see. So here it is, to separate water and the common salt from the mixture, materials needed, that are some salt and water vapor, a pan, a metal plate, some ice cubes, a pair of tongue, a bowl and Bunsen burner. Okay. Method: take the mixture in a pan and heat it over the burner. Place a few ice cubes over the plate with the help of the tongue. Hold the metal plate slightly, okay, tilt position above the pan. Collect the water droplet dripping from the metal plate into a bowl. Observation: water changes into steam through evaporation. The steam rises from the pan and condenses on the surface of the cold metal plate to form water droplets, which are collected separately. Salt is left behind in the pan and water is collected in the bowl. Here, conclusion, that is, water and the common salt can be separated from salt water mixture and collected separately by the process of evaporation and condensation. Okay, so that is it. Then we have to just separate the water and the salt from a mixture. That is by which method? By the condensation process. Okay, here now it is the let's answer. Let us write down the answers of it. Okay. So here, let's answer in that question number A, that is true or false. In that the first one, that is, hand picking is used when the quantity of the mixture is large. No, hand picking is used when the quantity of the mixture is small. Okay, so this is the false. Then after second one, that is, the solid particles that settle down during the sedimentation are called supernet. Yes, that is also false. Okay, they are known as the supernets, they are known as the sediments. Then after the third one, that is, filter paper can be used as the filtering device. Yes, it can be used, so it is true. Fourth one, that is, the process by which the liquid form of a substance changes into gas is called condensation. No, it is false, it is evaporation. Okay, fourth one, that is false. Fifth one, that is, water, salt and sand can be separated by the process of evaporation only. No, it cannot be just by evaporating it. No, that is false. Okay, so here moving towards the question number 2. Okay, that is question number B. Fill in the blanks. That is, small pebbles are separated from sand at construction sites through the process of hand picking or sieving. So here it will be sieving. Okay, so the first answer, that is okay, sieving. Then after second, the process of pouring out the clear upper liquid without disturbing the sediments is called sedimentation or decantation. So it will be decantation. So second one, that is decantation. Then after third one, that is, a filtering device should have the holes that are dashed and the particles of the insoluble solid. So it should be smaller than that, not bigger. Okay, small. Then after fourth one, a mixture of common salt and water can be separated by dash, evaporation or filtration. So here it will be separated by the evaporation process. Evaporation. Okay. So please write down the answer, students. I am just giving you some time. Okay students, have you written down the answer? Now moving towards our new topic. Okay, by new topic, that is solution and solubility. Solution and solubility. So here, first of all, solution and solubility. Let us see that. So first of all, we have seen the lemon sherbet. In that, what we do, just we dissolve the sugar inside the water. So we make a solution of sugar solution. That solution is known as sugar solution. Okay. Now we just what do? We just add salt in the water and make the solution that is known as the salt solution. That we have made the solution. Here, when we add a teaspoon of sugar to a glass of water and stir it, the sugar disappears in the water. Becomes a sugar get dissolved or mixed completely in the water. So the substance that get dissolved in is called the solute, and the substance in which something gets dissolved is called the solvent. And the mixture of the solute and the solvent is known as a solution. Okay, so what is solution? A mixture of one or more solute dissolved in a solvent is called solution. Okay, so here in this topic, first of all we will talk about the solution only, not in detail. We will just see the introduction part of the solution, and in the next video we will see that in the detail. So solution, what is solution? When a sugar, we have seen, as I have told earlier, that when sugar is put inside a water, then what will the sugar will be disappeared. So what it will be? It will be dissolved in water. So what is the sugar which is dissolved, okay, in any of the substance, that is known as the solute, and the substance in which the solute is dissolved, that is known as the solvent, and the solute and the solvent together makes the solution. Okay students, so this is all about the solution. Okay, and there are different types of the solution. That is known as the sugar solution, salt solution, and different types of the solution are there. Okay students, so here we just complete our video. So in your homework, what you have to do is you have to write down the evaporation process. Okay, then after condensation process, okay, evaporation process and the condensation process, and also write down the answers of the let's answer in your textbook. Okay, and you have to post that in your homework, okay, and in your respective group. So this is your homework. Okay students, you have to write down the evaporation process and the condensation process in your homework, and we will meet in the next video. Okay, bye students.